What's up, guys? Hope you all had a great New Year's. 2023 has been off to a rough start. The other night for New Year's, we had some people over for a party. We got some fireworks for 2023 rolling over, and when the time came to light the fireworks off, the boys got this amazing idea that they wanted to create their own firework, and allegedly one of the pool floaties got filled up with oxyacetylene, and it was set in the middle of the fireworks display. And when that thing went off, the shockwave blew out all of the windows in the backyard of our house. So from the backyard, if you look at our house, all the windows got shattered. This is what the windows look like after the explosion last night. Completely shattered. This one that goes into our laundry room, completely busted. These guys completely blown out right here. And all the way up to Wyatt's door. The windows right here also blown out. And then it actually even split the wood on the latch right there, which is pretty gnarly. I literally pushed the door back hard enough to crack the wood right there. But each one had multiple panels, so in total it was like almost 10 panels of glass got blown out of our house. And we had some people coming over to fix the windows. I even had to shoot the neighbors a text to let them know I apologize for the loud bang last night, and they found it pretty funny. So yeah, that was interesting. But the windows are getting fixed. But on an actual sad note, I'm sure many of you guys have heard by now that Ken Block has passed away, and it's just really unfortunate. When I saw the news, I was honestly kind of heartbroken. I couldn't believe it, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are pretty sad about it as well. The guy was a huge inspiration to, I think I can safely say, almost everyone in the automotive industry. He kind of led the leading edge of what could be done, and the Gymkhana films have just been, amazing, and they have inspired so many of us to, get into the car scene and do dumb stuff. I'm sure he's responsible for many kids breaking their wheels on curbs, drifting out in the snow. Some of our very first videos on the channel were out in Wago, drifting around, all-wheel drive sliding, and those videos were 100% Gymkhana inspired. So the guy just had a massive reach over every automotive enthusiast out there, and it just sucks that we lost a legend. So I'm glad that we were able to, meet the guy. Me and Wyatt went out to California to do the MR2 race against the Unicorn, where we got to meet him and his daughter. So looking back at that now, I'm really glad we got to share that experience, and it just sucks that he's no longer with us. The dude was revolutionizing a lot of things in the automotive world. So sucks that he's gone. Our condolences go out to his friends and family. And yeah, freaking sucks. But on a happier note, we got some stuff done on the Sidekick and Wyatt's truck in today's video. So we're gonna get into that. And yeah, R.I.P. Ken Block. He will be missed. Today we are working on old Susie the Sidekick here, getting a new transmission put into this thing, because as you guys remember, we tried to tow the jet boat with this thing, and 1 through 3rd became neutrals. And itself. Yeah, he decided it did not want to move anymore. Reverse still worked after that, but that's all we had. The transmission was cooked. The clutches were probably burnt up after trying to do that.
Oh, they're smoked.
And
you didn't have to smell the fluid.
The fluid was...
That's enough to make me want to throw up. It's bad.
I'm going to take your word for it. The fluid was not too great. So we got to get the transmission swapped on this thing. And when Adam LZ did his Invitational, they got the 4-rotor Supra fired up, and Vargas helped with that project. So while he was down helping Adam LZ with his Supra, he brought a transmission for us down with him as well. So I actually went over there and picked it up from him, and that guy is right here. So we got ourselves a built unit with some upgraded clutches. She's ready to go. This will be a full manual valve body transmission. We have our upgraded input shaft as well for this guy that will work with the converter we already have in the Sidekick. We got to pull some stuff off of the transmission that is currently in the Sidekick so we can get this one all dressed up and ready to go and get it back into the car. We're gonna have to change up some stuff with the shifter as well because this one has a different shift mechanism on it. But nonetheless, we got ourselves a fresh transmission to go into the Rotary Sidekick here to get this thing back up and ripping again. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this thing apart and get that guy swapped out. That thing reeks.
Yeah, she don't smell the greatest. Front band looks good. I want to pull this forward clutch pack apart. Excuse me, I don't know the C4 terminology, but the clutch pack in this front drum. See what it looks like. And there's really no reason to pull it much further apart. Just kind of looking it over, seeing what let go or what got smoked. So
something got smoked because it smells like,
for sure.
It almost smells like burnt electrical in there.
Yeah.
That is nasty.
The front band looked good, but I bet you these clutches in here are completely burnt. Yep. Those should not have that much heat and that color in them. That's pretty messed up.
Yeah, those are a little hot.
Yep, she definitely got cooked on this front clutch pack. I don't know if this is like the C1 or whatever, but you can see like that marring right there in the clutch plate.
Yeah, got that one
steel
good.
From all the extra heat in there. So yeah, didn't fare too well.
That's what we call the permanent neutral.
It done 4L60E'd itself.
So we got the new trans going together here. We just had to swap over the pump from the other one, which is this guy right here on the front. And then we're getting the bell housing swapped over. That lets us adapt this to the rotary. And then we also got this solenoid on there that controls the trans brake. So we can launch this thing.
Awesome.
Get this thing all together here and get it all back into the Sidekick. All right, guys, the rotary is back in the Sidekick here. Got it pretty much all the way back together. Got the intake back on, all the accessories. We have to do a couple more things to the radiator mounts because that was a little sketch. We just had it resting in there and we don't want that rubbing through. And then before we get the manifold back on, we are switching wastegates because, as you guys remember, when we took it out to Bristol, the wastegate stuck open on us and we were hardly making any boost.
Yeah, I think it was, what, 3 pounds in the burnout?
It was barely making anything. So we had a whole bunch of issues with the wastegate that was on there, and it was because it was a cheap wastegate off of Amazon. And with how hard we abused this thing and with how hot it got in there, the manifold was glowing. That wastegate just was not loving its life living in there.
Completely locked up. I had to take and put the reference line to the top of the gate and make like 20 pounds of boost just to get it to shut the gate.
Yeah,
it was pretty rough.
Once it heated up, you know, the tolerances all tightened up and it was locked up and the wastegate was not working. So we are swapping over to a quality wastegate over here. We have ourselves a Turbo Smart 60 mil gate, and we had to change the flange right here because it was slightly different compared to this guy. But other than that, they're like the same gate. This is just the nice version of it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty confident we will have zero issues because they test these things, they're tried and true. They will get these glowing red and they still work flawlessly. And we can't say the same about the cheap Amazon one. This guy made it about one event before it was no longer working for us.
It's pretty crazy to watch how they test those. They'll have like a freaking 2-foot-long flame coming out of it, cherry red, and it's still sitting there perfectly working. So it should be plenty for this rotary deal.
Yeah, this guy should get us by. So we got ourselves a new Turbo Smart 60 mil gate on there. Don't cheap out on your wastegate, boys. You saw what happened to us just now. So we're gonna go ahead and get this back on there and then we should be good to go. We have a couple more things to button up, get that radiator mounted, get some fluid in the trans, get some training lines ran, and then she should be good to go.
Fired up, do a sick burnout.
Well, guys, after a couple days of work, she is all back together. You can already see some changes. We got the exhaust running out of the fender here now instead of just going straight up. I did want to put a cutout on this thing, but you know, that might just have to wait for later. I wanted to run the exhaust out the fender at some point because I thought that'd be pretty sick. And in the future, if we have some time to do it, maybe we'll do a cutout and actually make this a streetable Rotary Sidekick here, but for now we're going right out the fender so we can get the hood back on, so we whipped up an exhaust. Got that done. We had to remove the battery tray that went right there to do that. We redid a lot of the wiring. We ran new battery cables out to the back because now the battery is in the rear of the Sidekick. We got the radiator mounted legit now. We got some tabs welded on down there that you can't really see, but this was just resting in there before, so now it's actually solid. And just buttoned up a lot of loose ends on this thing. And we got ourselves a new shifter in there.
Yeah, baby.
Brand new. And we have the right bracketry for the transmission and everything, because that was a little sketch and thrown together from before.
Yep.
So we ordered a new shifter off Summit, and it has the right brackets going to the trans, and we got that guy bolted down. And she's all back together, and we're ready to fire this thing back up.
Ready?
Yep. Come on, Susie. Where's the brat braps at? Should I give her some brake clean?
Right.
Yep. She's running good.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Ready to do some burnouts, hopefully.
Turn up my grass. So we got the front end back together, got the hood on, and we got the solenoid hooked up for the bump box and for the trans brake. So we're gonna go ahead and back it back out and see if the trans brake is working. But the Sidekick's back, guys. It's looking good. Finally has the hood back on it. We got the side exit exhaust there. She's just about ready to go. It's good to go because we just made it to Taco Bell. Got ourselves some Baja Blasts. You're good, boys. She sounds good, man.
Running primo.
Yeah, I can't do the dash even.
that one, yep. Solid.
So Wyatt has the race truck in here up on the lift, and he is swapping valve bodies out right now so we can get a trans brake up in this thing.
Yep. We are going to test the limits of everything in this, but
Drivetrain wise.
But yeah, it's getting a Jake's D3 valve body. It's pretty similar to what was in it. It's still going to be automatically controlled. The only difference is it's now valve body, or now has a trans brake in it. So we're going to go ahead, get that thing in here. We're all pretty much ready to go. Got the check balls up in there, held with some trans
that
gel.
looks very complicated, honestly.
Yeah, gotta have Kyle hold a little valve in there, and then we're gonna go ahead and get this thing installed and back together. Also got a couple other goodies for it, like a better pan and catch can for it. So just more plugging away at the little things, trying to get this truck buttoned up.
Well, after this, you'll be able to have some spicy 4x4 launches.
Yep.
Get her up on that trans brake.
Yeah, hopefully make about 15-20 pounds and let off the button. See what she does.
Hell yeah. So this is the old one that came off, and then I'm assuming that's what makes it a trans brake.
Yep, just
gives it the trans brake.
Yeah, so they do some things with this separator plate, but it's still just a stock valve body. You can see on this one, this is just an accumulator delete plate because we don't need that on this kind of a setup. But on this one, it gets replaced with this billet block. It does magic, witchcraft stuff, redirects hydraulic fluid, and that's what gives you your trans brake. So get that in there, get it wired up, and I guess give it a try, see what it does.
So we got Wyatt's truck backed out, and we got it up on jack stands right now. Just gonna run it through the gears and make sure everything is working all right after getting the trans brake installed. Getting her topped off on ATF, letting it warm up a little bit. Oh shoot, there's a belt on there.
Dude, big things happening around here now.
Getting closer.
Yeah, man. So this has been another one of the projects I've been procrastinating on forever, is doing this belt routing and mounting this alternator, just because it was going to be a pain. But it's finally done for the most part. I got to add a tensioner to the alternator. But for right now, it works. I already fired the truck up. I've got immaculate power steering and brakes. Before, it was like straight death grip on this thing trying to turn it. Now you can just sit there and just go left and right. It's so awesome. So
yeah, so now you're running the factory mechanical power steering pump, because
yep.
We showed you were experimenting with like that Volvo one you had.
Yeah,
but
so a while back,
didn't work.
tried that electric pump, and it just didn't make enough pressure or volume. So, you know, it's like the gasser stuff, you know, mechanical pumps for everything. So went back to that. It works great. Gonna fire it up again, back it out. I want to try the trans brake again, try and get it up on the two-step a little bit, and put it in four-wheel drive and just, you know, see what the trans brake feels like, make sure the bump box works, and also just kind of get a better feel for the brakes, because I mentioned before they were kind of shoddy without the Hydro Boost or without the power steering pump hooked up, but now they are pretty primo. So I just want to back it out, get a feel for it. Figured to show you guys kind of what's coming up with it. I'm very excited because this is like getting us very close to being track or at least dyno ready. So
yeah, she's getting there.
Yep.
Power steering, and it's charging the battery now?
Yeah, so I gotta make a cable for it.
Or is it not
quick.
yet?
Not
get a
quite
cable
yet.
on there?
I gotta literally hook up one battery cable or one power lead from the alternator to the battery cable, and then we're good.
You know, tell them about your bungs.
Yeah.
that were recently added there.
Yeah, so nice titanium bungs. Got in touch with our guys over at Nitrous Express. They're going to be getting us some lines made very soon. Because I'll tell you right now, the truck doesn't get up on the trans brake very hard. It makes like 2 pounds of boost and won't get up on the converter. So I already planned to add a spool jet to this setup. I just haven't done it yet, but the guys at Nitrous Express are on it. They're going to get us hooked up with everything we need to finish that. I'm very excited because, you know, we hit that freaking button, maybe backfire it. I don't know. Hopefully it just comes up on the two-step, makes some boost.
Yeah, she's gonna need some nitrous.
Do what?
She's gonna need some nitrous.
Dude,
if that's all it has.
A good bit of spray, which I totally planned on doing. I knew it would be a hassle or a struggle to get it on the converter, but that's freaking sick, dude.
I mean, you
So
technically
cool.
launched it right there.
Technically, yeah. I'm
Very
like
baby
still very
launched.
hesitant to break stuff because, you know, I'm just, you know, nervous, but man, that's super cool. And the brakes feel amazing, man. Like, I have no worries about stopping right now. As long as we don't lose a belt, we're good, but pretty sick, dude. So I'll be honest, one of the things that I'm like most excited about is how easy this thing steers now. Like I said, I know trying to pull it in and out of PRI was a freaking workout. My arms are so sore. So now I kind of want to brag and show how easy it is with this rack and pinion swap steering. Just how easy this thing steers. Hold on. That's so nice.
That's so much better than you struggling.
Dude. Way freaking better. That's so nice.
Yeah, every time you drive it anywhere, you get both hands on there, just
ripping
ripping that wheel.
And now it's just effortless. So, yeah, it's coming together, man. I need to just finish up that mount real quick and put the cooling system back on it, and we can go take this thing for a quick drive.
Take her to Taco Bell.
Yep. Dude, it's so close. Oh, let's go.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. The Sidekick is back up and running. I put a text over the screen when we were trying to get the trans brake working, or when we were trying to test it out for the first time. And the trans brake currently is not working, and we're pretty sure we know why. There is a little valve that goes into the transmission, and then the solenoid that moves that around to enable the trans brake to lock it in reverse and drive at the same time. Takes a special aftermarket little valve in there, and that piece was missing from when I got everything from Mike. So we just put the stock one in there, and it's just a completely different little piece in there. So it's basically not moving the fluid around right, is what we think. And we got the right piece ordered, so we're hoping after we swap that out, the trans brake and stuff will work on the Sidekick, because the transmission is also making a slight whine in the higher RPMs, and it does concern us a little bit. We're just hoping it has to do with that part not being right, because we are 100% sure that it is the wrong piece in there. So everything else seems great though. It's running awesome and it drives good. We took it to Taco Bell. So as long as it's just that little part that's wrong and that fixes our issues, hopefully we don't have to work on this thing and it's ready to go. We're gonna try to bring this thing to a big Rotary meet this weekend in Orlando. So we will be bringing it up there. If that noise is still going on though, we might trailer it up there, but I would like to drive it if we can. So we'll see. Hopefully we get that here tomorrow. I overnighted it, and if that's fixed, we'll drive it out to Orlando. But either way, it will be there. And then Wyatt's just buttoning some stuff up on the race truck here, and then as you saw, he got his trans brake working. We're hoping we could have a little trans brake battle and kind of bump them next to each other, but
That'd been cool.
the Sidekick didn't want to cooperate today.
Yeah, Should we tell them about the better news of the truck, how it runs better?
Oh yeah, so Wyatt found out 2 of his injectors weren't working, or
Yeah.
he had them flipped.
Yeah, so it was like, I've triple checked everything in this. Everything was perfectly good. The only problem I had is, I guess when I was going together with the injector harness that sits underneath the valve cover, it was like 2 in the morning that night, and I pinned them backwards. So injector 7 was firing when 5 should, and 5 was firing when 7 should. So I got those flipped back. Truck sounds a lot better, runs a lot better, way less smoky, doesn't want to break up.
Yeah, that white haze is gone. It's just zero smoke on idle now.
Yeah, it sounds great now. You know, from the get-go, everybody's going to say it in the comments, from the get-go, I knew it had a miss. So it's not news to me. I've been looking at this problem for a while.
Also, I saw a lot of comments. I think
I think the balancer's falling off.
I think you need to check that balancer.
Yeah, I need to double check that, you know, for the 100th time, because I don't know what I'm doing. So, you know. Anyways, yeah, it sounds good. So we could, we'll put in a clip right now of it running better, because it is much better now.
Way less smoke. You got all kinds of things loose up here. The belt, the balancer.
Yeah, dude, everything's just falling apart. I don't know what I'm doing, so, you know.
Yeah, way less smoke on idle now.
Yeah.
Still a little puff when you rev it. But
yeah, you'll have that. It's cold. Diesel doesn't like to burn when it's cold, so that's what that smoke is. But before, it would just sit there and haze, and it didn't want to rev up. It sounded like it was fighting itself. So now it revs up smoothly. Sounds really good. Still just plugging away at getting everything else finished up, like this alternator bracket to hold that belt tight. So a couple more late nights, and she'll be pretty solid. Got a dyno day scheduled. So yeah, coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
Sick, dude.
Well, that's going to do it for this video. See you guys later.
Bye-bye now.